the great Brahmagupta, he has given the length of the year very precisely. 365 days, 6 hours, 12 minutes, 9 seconds. Can this be done without mathematics?
So we have Aryabhat in the 5th, 6th, followed by Varavir, who went on to refine his calculations further. And then we have Brahmagupt in the 6th and the 7th century, who's given the precise length of the year 365 days, 6 hours, 12 minutes, 9 seconds. Wow. How precise can you get?
Yes. And you say that mathematics did not exist in India, or it has come, everything has come from the West?
I mean, who are we trying to kid? I sometimes wonder, really. It's just about not knowing, actually. The
Not
point
knowing,
is
lack of awareness. It is complete lack of awareness.
Avidya is, when we speak about Avidya, this is Ghor Avidya. Who else followed Brahmagupta?
He was basically an astronomer. So he was talking about all the relative positions of the planets and time calculation. And obviously here Ujjain comes in, the main longitude of the earth comes in, the 0 degree meridian comes in. This 0 degree meridian is a huge topic in itself. We will take it another day. Yes. And then we can talk about Bhaskacharya. So many of the mathematicians and astronomers were based in Ujjain.
Okay. Any specific reason, or generally it happened?
Because it is supposed to be the 0 meridian, 0 degree meridian, and it is the intersection point of the Tropic of Cancer and the 0 degree meridian. So all kind of time measurement laboratories were set here. Maybe it was some 0 point.
Makes sense.
From which they were viewing the sky.
Makes sense.
So after that, we can talk about Bhaskacharya, who was in the 12th century, and he was basically the head of this Ujjain space laboratory. So mathematics is finding its roots in astronomy. Astronomy is completely interconnected with mathematics. Without mathematics, astronomy cannot exist. And here you can get hints of the vastness of our knowledge of astronomy that is coming up. And astronomy is going to be our coming up topic. A notable scripture that has been written by Bhaskacharya is Siddhant Shiromani. And Siddhant Shiromani is again a very fine text, and it is also an extension of Surya Siddhant. Again, astronomy and mathematics.
All right, so from the 7th century, we jump straight to the 12th century. This is also a time when the onslaught of invasions, etc., began.
Invasions began in the 11th century onwards. 11th, 12th century was the time period when invasions started. So you can say that from the 5th to the 12th century, knowledge as far as astronomy and mathematics was flourishing in India. Yes. And after that, destruction started. The major universities were destroyed. They were plundered completely. And Ujjain, complete gone. Laboratories were destructed. All these were abolished. So that was a major blow to the knowledge system of India.
So, we study about these invasions from the thought of what all they plundered in terms of temples, in terms of loot, etc. But it strikes us very late as to what was happening in the advancement of knowledge, and suddenly it would have come to a standstill because of all these invasions here. So, what happened? So this is Ujjain, this is central India, where
Kashmir,
it was flourishing.
Kashmir also, Sharda University. All these universities were almost, they were gone. Knowledge system was gone completely. And still knowledge thrived somewhat in India. So actually it thrived in the southern states of India. So after Aryabhat, we have major, after Bhaskacharya, after everything that was happening in Ujjain, the whole focus can be from the Kerala school of mathematics, basically it was. Now the Kerala school, so I think the Britishers were unable to reach that southernmost tip of India. The mathematical knowledge was flourishing in the states of Tamil Nadu and Kerala. So from there, we have references of the great Madhava, who has established the Kerala School of Mathematics and Astronomy. After Ujjain was abolished by the Mughals, by the Britishers were, however, taking much interest in whatever was going on in Ujjain later on. But plundering was done basically by the Mughals. And at
They was
that
just
time,
like on a spree to break everything.
yes, yes. And everybody was like but knowledge in the southern states of India, mathematics and astronomy was flourishing after the 14th and the 15th century also. Madhavan,
Okay.
he was a great mathematician. And again, his work was completely based on, again, Surya Siddhant and Aryabhata. The knowledge was same. All what he was doing is more of research, refining of the formulae, making everything better. So this was a research center of mathematics. Basically, what we are going to discuss later on also, his main work includes the infinite series, from which he has come up with a refined formula of pi.
Wow.
A defined value of pi. So that was his main, I think, contribution among many contributions. And Madhava has been recognized in India today also, and many of our the people from the academia, like they have recognized mathematical concepts that has come out from the Kerala School of Mathematics, and we have the Homi Bhabha Center Research Center and the Tata Institute Research Center. They have been jointly putting up a competition of mathematics under the name of Madhava Competition of Mathematics, held annually.
And this is held for?
It is a competition of mathematics.
For anybody who wishes to participate.
Yes, the mathematicians are, the research scholars there must be doing it. And so how very few people know about it. So actually this whole thing is just confined to the people who are doing a lot of research in mathematics. Only they know about it. So Madhava, he was a guru maybe, and he had his followers or the students who were studying under him. And among the eminent students of Madhava, we have Parameshwara, Nilkant, and Jeshtadeva. So these are renowned mathematicians. And they have, Madhava and his students together have scripted huge books on mathematical concepts. And the most notable among them is the Tantra Sangrah. Tantra Sangrah you will still find written in scripted on palm leaves. The original Tantra Sangrah. You will find it on palm leaves. And it has been translated since then. And other than Tantra Sangrah, you have Yukti Bhasha and Karan Padati and Shad Ratan Mala. So, from here, see Karan Padati again talks about longitudes. So let us just go into a little bit of detail of these detailing out of these books, especially the Tantra Sangrah, which is actually has been studied a lot since then. So the Tantra Sangrah, it consists of 8 chapters, and it is in the original one is in the Malayalam script. It deals with the topics like Madhya Prakaranam. Now, what is the Madhya Prakaranam? Again the longitudes of the different planets. Madhya Prakaranam were the longitudes, study of the longitudes.
You did say that it took itself further into the field of astronomy, this particular school of Madhav.
We are going to learn it later when we are going to do the concepts, different concepts that have originated in India. Among them, calculus is one of them. Calculus has actually finds its origin or growth, major growth in the Kerala School of Astronomy.
All right. Okay.
So from these books that we have, you will find concepts of calculus, trigonometry, infinite series, refinement of the value of pi. I think people who are not much interested in mathematics would not be understanding these concepts, but from the people from the science background would be knowing all this, and they can just imagine the kind of deep knowledge of mathematics that was prevalent here in the Kerala school. And see, Tata Research Institute, Homi Bhabha Center, the research institutes, they have recognized the importance of these texts to validate all this. So everything we have, we start believing in what is something that comes from the West. Validation, if some validation comes from the West, okay, it must be. Your eyes get opened. Okay, it must be. So we have Mr. Charles M. Wish. He was an English civil servant in the Madras Regiment of East India Company during the British era. He collected all these manuscripts So people who were learned people, they were saying here, they were learning about our scriptures. He collected all these four scriptures that I am talking about from the Madhava School of Mathematics. All these four scriptures he collected and he published a paper. The paper was published from the Royal Asiatic Society. The year is 1832. This paper has been published.
Roughly about
And
200 years back.
yes. And see how much they were, much interested in our scriptures. What he's written clearly in his paper is that mathematical concepts mentioned in these four scriptures from the Kerala School of Mathematics and Astronomy are not known to anyone in the whole of the world other than this part of Bharat, that is Kerala. And it is not the other rest of the world, it is not even known to the rest of India. So he is basically saying that or everything about calculus, basically about calculus, has come out from the school of mathematics of Madhava.
Now, when you say that it was not known in the rest of India either, because the rest of India was so badly plundered,
Yes.
they were fighting for their life.
Hmm.
Rather than the information or knowledge to percolate upwards from where it was developed. Otherwise, had they not been around, or had the Mughals not invaded India, or had the Britishers not done what they did, this knowledge would have been prevalent across the country. But the northern part and the central part of the India was just so badly bruised and
Yes.
beaten up at that time.
Yes, yes. So that is, and thankfully, the southern states remained.
Thankfully, yes,
And,
thanks to the
and
warriors who
see,
emerged in the central India.
our next great mathematician, everybody I think is aware of the great Ramanuj.
Yeah.
Yes. So he is again from Tamil Nadu, southern state of Tamil Nadu. And I think if anybody is interested, you must go and see this movie, The Man Who Knew Infinity. The Man Infinity. He was Ramanuj. Again, who has made a movie on Ramanuj? It is coming from the West. There's so many people have acknowledged Ramanuj hugely in the West. And sadly, we have not acknowledged him. That something that I want to mention here is that all this that we are talking about, all these scriptures that we are talking about, they are basically our intellectual property. And there is a lot of importance of intellectual properties these days. You talk about patents.
Yes.
We talk about number one university, number two university of the world. Why are they number one and number two? Because of the number of patents they provide, the new discoveries. And the whole of the sea, if we would have studied these scriptures, if we would have known the importance of these scriptures, and we would have studied them well, I think the number of patents that would have come from India, nobody could have
be coming
matched
from
them.
India.
Nobody could match those patents anywhere. We would have so many patents that nobody could match the height of our knowledge. But sadly, it is the other way around. The movie on the Wright brothers, it flopped completely. Basically, the movie they are showing that it was basically the concept was completely Indian, and that is absolutely true.
That's a
It was.
fact.
That
Yes.
is a fact. But no, how many Indians have acknowledged it? They have completely dumped the movie. Our minds have been conditioned in such a way that everything, makes sense is coming from the West. It's high time that we go the other way. It is time that we take pride in ourselves. It's time that we start taking pride in our own system. This is our intellectual property. And you know how expensive intellectual property is today?
True.
The economy of the countries are based on their intellectual properties.
Things are changing. There is
I
a
think that
certain
is why we are
things changing already.
at least we are making an effort in this direction.
This effort of ours is a humble effort. We are also from we've also awakened from that space where we used to think that anything coming from the West is to be given primary focus. That's shifted within us. If it is shifted within us, I'm sure there are many more in whom this is beginning to shift. So I think yes, that wave is also going to start taking shape and form.
I'm
I'm
very
glad to be
hopeful.
a part of that wave, though.
I am very hopeful that we will bring a small change at least. So we can come back to our mathematicians. As far as I know about Ramanuj, he's a classical example of what is known as Ritambra Pragya in Sanskrit, or what is known as Aparishya in Sanskrit. So because he has given all the credit to his office knowledge to Devi Namgiri. Devi Namgiri is supposed to be Narsimha. Lord Narsimha is greatly worshipped in the south. And Devi Namgiri is supposed to be the wife of Lord Narsimha. So they are hugely worshipped with great faith. And Ramanuja was a follower, Ramanuja's whole family was a follower of Devi Namgiri. And in his lifetime, Ramanuj has given 3,900 mathematical concepts.
Wow.
The proofs of most of them, he doesn't know himself. He has scribbled all those formulae and those concepts in his books. And there has been a book that is published with the name that Ramanuja's Lost Notebook. Most of the publications about Ramanuja's work you'll get from the West. Indians have still not given him that credit. Because basically his work was, again, you can see the condition of our country when Ramanuj was there. We were in complete poverty. Somehow his knowledge was acknowledged by the Cambridge University, and he had his friend there who was acknowledging his mathematical knowledge, Mr. G.H. Hardy. Mr. Hardy and Ramanuj, in a combined way, they gave proofs of some of the equations that were already given by Ramanuj. So basically, Ramanuj knew the end proof, but he knew the end equation, the result, but he did not know the proof. So in his lifetime, I think they just managed to give 2 or 3 proofs only. And his equations are still being studied. Still, their proofs are being studied, and many of them are still not understood. And it is believed that if we understand all his equations, all that he has written, it is going to open a huge new world into astronomical studies. So we have had such great mathematicians in India. The start point is Surya Siddhant and astronomy. The importance was to study Jyotish Shastra. And from there, we have, Jyotish Shastra cannot be known without studying astronomy.
Of course.
So roots of mathematics lies there. Astronomy and Jyotish Shastra.
Amazing.
And again, we have another route also, that is the construction of the temples. Books that have been written that have come from the Madhva School of Mathematics, you will find very detailed descriptions of the longitudes and latitudes of the planets, the relative motion. Errors. There are many books on how to correct the errors from time to time.
Mentioned.
Yes.
It's important to understand, I feel, the people who contributed. I think it has to start from there, because it is our way of paying tribute to the ones who brought in so much in terms of bringing this knowledge forward, which has been existing. And it's like understanding the revealed knowledge and putting it up in front of you in a platter.
So basically, it is just as we have done, see how much we know is that it is actually revealed knowledge that has been carried forward. Revealed in Surya Siddhant.
Right.
Revealed in Surya Siddhant and carried forward by all these mathematicians. And we can still carry forward. I have so much to tell you about Surya Siddhant.
I think we'll go into Surya Siddhant in our next conversation.
Maybe even we need to complete. Now, I think what we need to know more about mathematics is that there are certain basic mathematical concepts that we all are using today. And we are completely unaware that all these mathematical concepts have been developed in India. And it's completely, we are studying all these concepts in foreign names, under foreign names. We are not studying them under Indian names. All that we are studying is the language is completely English. The language is completely Greek. All the symbols, they are not Indian. Therefore, we have been conditioned to accept that all this mathematical knowledge is not Indian.
Not Indian.
It is basically coming from Greece, Persia. And if you just imagine your mathematics books way in class 9 or 10, and you would open any new chapter, there will be a picture of some Greek lord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So all the theorems, their names are from Greece.
Pythagoras being one.
Persia, all these countries, the Middle East countries, they have taken all the credit of mathematics to themselves.
Do you realize how beautiful it is to know so much about the people who've contributed to a particular field? Did you ever think that there would be a history like this to mathematics and a subject like that? And thank you, Monica, for making us aware of all these great people who have contributed so beautifully, who have brought the knowledge out from the Vedic sections and the Vedic realm and brought it forward in tangible form, right from Aryabhat to Ramanuj that you shared with us. And it's amazing how knowledge grew and even became more and more simpler in our country. So this is the history of mathematics. We are delving deeper into this subject in our upcoming episode, so stay tuned. If you have not yet subscribed to the channel, this is your time to do that. So click on the bell icon also so that you can continue to get alerts about our upcoming podcasts. Our series with Monica will continue. The knowledge that she's bringing for us will continue. The more she studies, the more she brings for us. And this also, again, like I said last time, is just our effort to help you tickle the curiosity bud inside, or tickle up that curiosity inside you, so that you can get into the mode of research and study, and just to get to know how beautiful it is to know more. So on that note, thank you very much for being with us, and stay tuned. Thank you very much, Monica, for continuing to share your knowledge with us, and we'll see you again in the next episode. And see you all.
Thank you so much, Nidhi. Thank you, our lovely viewers who are listening to us with interest. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. See you again.